Okay, part two of this message. So, a quick overview of the spread that we covered so far. We pulled the Justice card. This is you winning in some legal matter, or this like period of the dark night of the soul ending in your favor with a renewed perspective and lease on life, tangible gifts, etc. You waking up from this period of apathy, despair, self-isolation, emotional withdrawal, not being willing to be present, be out there, and like meeting people, taking advantage of opportunities, really sitting with what it is that you want out of life and directing your focus and your energy in that way, and like really benefiting from this like renewed sense of self that this justice has given you, or whatever this win was. And then the other card being the Chariot. So again, this came up in my first spread, very much this signaling of you in this newfound confidence, like using your willpower, your control, your focus to decide what life you live, what you go through, what you experience, what agreements you continue to reinforce that, tell the story of the life you want to live, not the one that you say you want, the one that you truly want through your beliefs, through the things that you think about most often, right? And so I wanted to get more information on this Chariot card because this is about, really finding calm in the chaos and like using, certain tools and like being able to control like two conflicting truths in a way that allows you to kind of design your own life. Like this is the type of energy that, when people say be delusional about your life, like believe that even if you want a fully pink Barbie themed Bratz doll, pink leopard, cheetah print bedroom, then that's what the fuck you can get, because it's whatever you say. Like that's very much this card. So I asked for more information on what exactly we are to be focusing on, like what's the energy behind this victory that we're gonna be experiencing. And it was a little surprising, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Like, let's just go through step by step. I pulled 3 cards. So the first card was the 5 of Wands in reverse. Now again, this is connected to that first reading I did. Like this was, when I pulled it, it was upright, and it was very much about being in this competitive energy, engaging in these petty squabbles, like feeling like there's people around you who got beef with you and aren't saying anything, or like they're smiling in your face, talking behind your back, like or if it's not with other people, it's you internally, like sitting in this like competitive energy with yourself, feeling like you're not where you're supposed to be, or you're trying to like be the person you were yesterday, but like not in a positive way. Like you're kind of shitting on yourself a little bit, comparing yourself to other people, stuff like that. So like seeing this in reverse, to me, again, we had talked about the salve, the soothe for that energy is compassion, right? Compassion for yourself and compassion for others, right? And when we have compassion for people who are engaging in these one-sided beefs and like trying to pull us down to their level or whatever, and like not compassion in the sense of like, oh, let me go over there and like be her therapist, but like just recognizing like this is a person who like doesn't like themselves, and that's like a really sad place to be in. And so like I don't really need to engage with that because that's not an experience that like I resonate with or want to participate in, right? And so this is you claiming back your power in that way, right? Like not engaging in these petty squabbles that are like ego driven and like power plays to like see, oh, who's the dominant one, who's the winner, who's the HBIC or whatever. Like you don't really give a fuck because you're your own person, like you're sovereign, right? So like you're deciding what's worth your energy because you are being so meticulous about where you're directing your energy, your focus, your attention, because what's at stake. Like you just pulled off the W of a century. Like whatever this is coming with like such richness that like you have a trust within you that is just unshakable now, right? And so that's where this confidence is coming from, right? That's where this self-trust of like, I'm just going to surrender because I know when it's time to move, and I know what I need to move on, and what's not mine to touch. I know where spirit is guiding me, and I know where spirit is taking over and is gonna like make shit shake. So I'm gonna focus on what I need to focus on and not none of this other shit, right? Like you're not worrying about money troubles, you're not worrying about that weirdo at your job, you're not worrying about that person that you were dating that ghosted you. Like you're just like what is for you to worry about, basically, right? So like you coming out of this space and being like, I know what's worth my time, I know what's worth my energy, and like I have this newfound focus on like what is inspiring to me, lighting me up, making me want to like continue in life and just feel all this abundance. Like, you're recognizing like, yeah, I do deserve, this was the other card I pulled on the Chariot, I do deserve the creature comforts, I do deserve to feel abundant every day, I do deserve to feel like, you know, I have everything that I want in life and things are going the way that I want them and I'm taken care of. You know, I'm not, it isn't just having to choose between feeling internally abundant and like having to like ignore my reality and pretend that it's not what it is. No, like my reality is reflecting what's going on inside of me and I deserve to have that experience. And so that is where I'm directing my focus. That is where I'm directing my energy. That is where I'm prioritizing myself, right? Like if I only have so much capacity, because that's what this card represents to me. This was a period of survival mode. You was on go, you was hustling, working overtime, sacrificing your social life, sacrificing your creativity, sacrificing creature comforts, hobbies, you know, things that you used to do, nice things you used to do for yourself, getting pedicures, you know, and you really saw a toll that it took on your body. Maybe your feet started to get a little fucked up. Maybe, you know, you're losing weight faster than you wanted to. Maybe you know, you're starting to get acne again, or like you're having like chronic fatigue, whatever it is. Like there was a cost, you know what I mean? And so you're recognizing that you don't want to compromise on that shit. It's a non-negotiable. Like I deserve to have my vessel be taken care of too, right? Like I shouldn't have to sacrifice the material, the real shit, the container that makes up my life to be successful. That's part of it. It's a requirement, right? Like that's you standing 10 toes down, drawing that line in the sand. This is what it is, and that's what's gonna get you that, because whatever you say goes, right? Like that's what this is saying. That's how you're ushering this victory in. That's how you're finding the calm in the chaos. That's how you're bringing two conflicting forces and finding a way to make them harmonize. Like you're on some like G shit right now, right? And so I asked for one more card on that, and I got the Eight of Swords, and this kind of threw me for a loop. The Eight of Swords is very much like feeling mentally trapped. Like you saw, we had the Nine of Swords in reverse in that last reading. Like this is very much, you are in a self-imposed cage. Like you are drowning in like self-imposed limiting beliefs, right? So like that being on the Chariot card I thought was a little bit weird, because this is about like, okay, well, what can we use to like win the battle, right? Like what's going to get us to that victory? So seeing this after two positive cards was like a little bit confusing at first, but when I sat with it a little bit more and pulled a couple clarifying cards, it started to make sense. So again, like this is just those mental prisons, right? When I pulled for clarification, I got the Three of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. And on surface, this doesn't look like it makes sense, right? But like my spirit team, they know I'm a Gemini moon, I'm a Sagittarius rising, I'm an intellectual, I'm a research scientist. I love to get to the root of a thing. And they know how to like unravel things to me with the messages. And so, you know, this to me, the Three of Swords is like betrayal. Like you are going through the worst of the worst. Like the worst things are happening to you. You're going through heartbreak, like pain, like things are just really, really bad right now. I think that being on the Eight of Swords is like you being so stuck in the past that like this is you letting go of that energy of like feeling like the past is what's going to determine your future. Like, you know, yes, I've had these really terrible experiences in corporate, but like at least like, you know, that's like a sure way to get money or whatever, you know, like all these things that you used to tell yourself, like these limiting self-limiting beliefs, right, that you were using to justify showing up for your life a certain way. Like you're no longer allowing that to be your story. Like this is what was directing so much of your decision making. This is what was keeping you stuck, keeping you bound, like keeping you going in that period of survival mode. Because remember, we're getting out of that, right? And so the Queen of Pentacles also being on that, I think, is signifying Queen sitting on the throne of like all things that we see in our 3D reality as success, as abundance, as like the creme de la creme. You know what I mean? Like this is very much like she has worked hard for what she has. She has put the time in, and like it's a balanced energy, right? Like it's not overworking or overly doing or being committed to this whole like capitalistic story, But this being attached to the Eight of Swords tells Queen of Pentacles being here like is signaling how you've kind of bastardized that a little bit, right? Like the Queen of Pentacles knows when to rest. The Queen of Pentacles knows how to take care of her vessel. She knows how to be generous and support others while also supporting herself. She knows how to keep things within balance. She understands that there's a time and a place for everything. Like that's why she is so comfortable on the material plane, because there is inherent balance, right? Like there's air, there's water, there's fire, there's ice, you know, like these things are all kind of, you know, polar energies, and she knows the value of maintaining that balance and that harmony, right? And so, and again, remember we had the Six of Pentacles, which is also representing that. And so this being on the Eight of Swords to me is again like you kind of worship and idealize this, and this was definitely like your intention, right? Like this was definitely what you were hoping you were going to be achieving by showing up this way. But with it being behind like, you know, self-limiting beliefs and like fears and anxieties, it suggests to me that it was like a comfortable prison, right? It was just a framework that you kind of inserted yourself into, and whether or not that framework itself had any merit is really not the point. It's more about the fact of like, is that yours, you know? Like did you just kind of like watch enough people and okay, this person is doing this, and so like this is what I have to do, and that will get me this thing. Like, you know, at some point you have to be willing to live life, make mistakes, try new things, you know, be willing to be in that chaos and still be able to ground and center within it, even if that means falling off your horse a little bit, right? Like at the end of the day, the Chariot card is you being in the driver's seat of your life. And yeah, maybe sometimes you hit a few bumps in the road when you're in that car, but as long as you're maintaining control, like that's really what matters at the end of the day, right? And so this to me is just about recognizing your because again, this is attached to the Chariot card. This is you being in the driver's seat. This is you recognizing how you have allowed past traumas and, you know, past heartbreaks. Maybe you've been having a lot of thoughts about like a past relationship or past relationships, whether they be romantic, platonic, or what have you, that have ended maybe not poorly but painfully, you know, whether you're the one who ended it because that was the right thing to do, or they ended it abruptly or in a way that you didn't understand and you never got to get the closure that you wanted, or, you know, even if it was you who made the decision, like there was still like conflict that you had internally because you never really wanted to have to make that decision in the first place, right? So I think this is you again just recognizing that like, wow, I've really been keeping myself limited. I've really kind of closed myself off to a lot of opportunities because I've been sitting in this energy, because I've been so blinded by, you know, the programming and my trauma, and just like not seeing how that has like narrowed my focus so much that like I can only see through those lenses, right? Like this is seeing things through a new perspective. That's why that whole driver's seat and really sitting in willpower and discipline and control is like being mindful of how you're directing your energy. This came up again in that first reading I did a week ago, and now I feel like this is again just re-emphasizing that like you decide the life that you live, right? You can choose to let this go, because you know when you do and you let go of the comparison, you get more reverent about how you expend your time and your energy. You stand firm on, you know, your standards and your non-negotiables and what you feel like it is you want out of this life, which again, like in my last reading talking about that collective, I feel like again this is, if you're resonating with like any one of these readings, you need to watch all of them, because like you might be in a different phase of this journey, and I really do feel like these are all connected, or at least these collectives have overlapping energies or are talking to each other or dealing with each other, so go and check those out. But I just feel as though like this is very much saying to me that like, you know, after deciding what's worth your time, after deciding what it is that you want to experience, after choosing to, you know, face the fact that you had been allowing things that really don't have space in your life in the same ways to continue to perpetuate in this maladaptive cycle, you're stepping into this phase now where you are ready to receive the new. Like this, whatever this victory, whatever this like success, whatever this thing that works in your favor is, it just breaks you open in a whole new way that allows you to just fully surrender into self-trust. Like you're no longer sacrificing the things that you were sacrificing before. You're no longer willing to, allow fear to cause you to make decisions about the things that you truly value in your life. From a place of anxiety, and continuing to reinforce this energy of fight or flight, and recognizing that the energy and intention that you sit in when you make certain decisions, when you take certain actions, when you engage with certain energies, people, places, things, whatever, there's an imprint that's left behind. And that doesn't have to be something that you fear. It can just be something that you take note of and be mindful of, and work with, co-create with, like use that willpower, bend reality to your will by just acknowledging what is true and just natural law, and using that to your advantage. And the way that you do that is to stop allowing life to take advantage of you. Stop allowing life to exact itself on you, because when you do that, it's easy to be a victim. It's easy to be apathetic. It's easy to not be accountable for the things that are happening to you, the things that you're doing, the things that you're perpetuating. You know what I mean? And so really what the message of this is like, if you took the time, like I said in my last few spreads, if you took the time to really sit in that period of reflection, really get into that hermit mode spirit, and stop like just self-isolating, right? Because if you're just self-isolating and you're just sitting there brain rotting, or mindlessly hustling to like make extra money because you feel like that's gonna like solve this like inner disquietude that you're experiencing, then like that is obviously not going to get you this. But like if you are willing to be real with yourself and acknowledge like, yeah, I was kind of still trapped in an energy that I thought I left behind. I am still like working through certain things, like, this is something that I can get through because I was able to face myself during this period and recognize where I was leading myself astray, and forgive myself for the ways in which I have been showing up that do not reflect the life that I want to live, right? And like that can be the story, and that can put you back in the driver's seat again in this chariot energy, so that you get to have what it is that you want in the end. The back of the deck was the Nine of Wands, and this is again like this is the final stretch, right? Like this, whatever this win is, whatever this boon is, whatever this positive karma that's coming your way, like it is going to signal the end of this cycle. It's going to signal the turning point of you like now stepping into your abundance. We have the Magician card under here, again bending reality to your will. These keeps coming up because again I really feel like Spirit is saying like things are not as bad as you make them out to be. You have the power, you have the control. Things are always going to work in your favor if you are willing to be an active participant in your life. And my advice to you guys, like if this is something that is like really resonating with you, is to like really get back into your heart space. I've been working on kind of just opening up my heart chakra and allowing myself to really connect with desire, connect with passion, pleasure, and get a deeper connection with the sensual, and understand like what it is that makes my body feel good. Because I feel like the sensual and the erotic is the way that we bridge the gap between soul and body, right? And really kind of see that those things are meant to work in concert rather than separately. And so I really advise you to take some time to figure that out, so that you can sit back in that driver's seat, decide what it is that you want, and go about getting it. Congratulations on whatever this win is. I'm so happy for you and the blessing that's going to come that's attached to it, because it's going to give you a whole new lease on life. You're going to realize you deserve the world, and you are going to see about getting it. So congratulations, Wookie. It is all going to be looking up from here.